Good morning, everybody. This is Keith. Say, I wanted to talk to you today about the state of California. Um, for for years, the state of California has been, what they call the uniparty, where it's completely dominated and controlled by one party, and the other voice isn't heard. Um, for years, there was a group trying to start the state of Jefferson, and then another uh, I think a billionaire out of the Bay Area was trying to establish Contra Costa and a few of the Bay Area counties under a separate state. So there's for years there's been this push to divide up California into different states, and um, we're looking at what 25% of Americans are skipping meals because food is too expensive. That's a real problem. And it's not being addressed. And nobody's looking at it saying, we're going to fix this or we're going to address this problem. There's some people committing suicide because they can't afford to eat anymore or they can't afford to buy groceries. That's a big problem. Um, the California CARB office, the Air Resources, you know, agency, they keep raising regulations on gasoline, on oil production, um, oil processing, oil refineries, and as a result, instead of spending the billions of dollars so they can make hundreds of millions of dollars, they're closing up shop and going to a state where they can afford to do this, which is going to ultimately raise prices for Californians. And then the Air Resources Board just initiated another, or well, Newsom signed in another bill um, regarding holding back reserves of gasoline, where gas stations and suppliers have to hold back a certain amount of gas, where they can't release that to the general public. They always have to have so much on hand, which that creates another problem for them to continually supply the regular demand. They're going to need to expand at these shipping depots. They're going to need to add extra tanks just to hold back storage. They're going to have to store this gas, and it's for like gas shortages and stuff like that. But so the way there is no gas shortages. What a novel concept. We'll always have gas if you can afford it. So that storage, everybody knows that if you you know if you have too much, you have to go buy real estate, which costs money. If you have the real estate, you have to put the money in for infrastructure to build these storage facilities for gasoline, which is going to cost a lot. Who's going to pay for that? I am. You are. All of us in California. As a result, Newsom's new law will ultimately cost us right around 65 cents a gallon. So next year, 2025, California gets to see another raise in gas prices. So that's going to cause food to go up, everything in the entire state. And honestly, If these concepts of establishing a state of Jefferson, it's more attractive because we don't have to pack up and move all our belongings and go to another state where they probably don't want us. They're, oh, another California moved here. Another Californian moved into Florida. Another Californian moved into Idaho. Well, the only way to really subvert that is we need, I don't know what happened to the state of Jefferson movement. I don't know if they're dead in the water. I don't know if they're just milling about and I don't know what their activities are right now. I don't know if they're still active. I don't know anything about their organization, about their status, their current status. But I know they were, I've been looking on the internet and I can't find any recent activity on any of their sites. And a lot of their Facebook posts are from 2015, 2016, several years ago. And I haven't found anything recent. If anybody out there seeing this knows that the state of Jefferson movement is still alive and well, right now is our time. January of this coming year is our time to make this happen. Apparently, they've gotten all the paperwork, they've gotten all the signatures, and they've got everything they needed to get this passed through the California legislate. But because they're controlled by one party, they don't want to pass it. They don't want to allow the people, they don't want to allow the people's voice to be heard. And so what the only other option that we would have, we need to go to the Senate, the federal Senate in DC. We need to present them with a bill, a federal bill. So when a state fails to listen to their constituents, that the federal government can step in and force this to move forward, and they can scream and cry and threaten us all they want, but we can't have people committing suicide because they can't afford to eat. We can't have people skipping meals because they can't afford to buy food. We can't we have to deal with this, and it's a real problem. And then gas prices are going up again in California, and this is just unreal. It really is. And we don't really have any say of what they do in California, and I know that Panera Bread is doing really well while all the other restaurants are failing. And that takes a lot of money to grease the wheels in this state. So why don't we, if why don't we just separate from the state of California? Let's go to the Senate in DC, present a bill, get get a federal law that allows us to, and then we do it, and we'll be probably by July of next year, we'll be the state of Jefferson. We'll have a separate state in California, and we will be separated from all of that burdensome taxes and regulations and censorship, and you can't do that here, kind of thing. And where we can open up businesses again and make money and hire people, where people can go and find a job and and where people can actually go and buy food so they can eat, and where they're not contemplating suicide, but they're looking at um, a life that's flourishing. So we're going to have to get the feds involved, because these people in California, they're not interested. They're not interested in the people. They don't really care. They're doing their thing, and I say fine, let them do their thing, and we'll do our own thing. We'll get the Senate and the House involved, and then we'll ask Trump to sign it into law. I believe we can do it. We need some support. I need to figure out who in who is still involved with the state of Jefferson, and so we can get that launched, and we can take back our lives in California. You know, we can't have people, suffering like this, under this type of um, deep regulated state. Regulations everywhere, all kinds of fines and penalties and dogmatic kind of things going on. You know, we need liberty in California, and we're going to need some folks to go to the Senate, present this bill. We need to draft the bill that would allow it. It'd be a new law that we'll have to put in play, because our elected officials don't listen to their constituents at all. So we're going to have to do this legally, do it through the book, and get the Senate involved, and we're gonna take back our homes. We're gonna make our homes a happy place to be again in in the geographic area of California. If you're with me on this, type one below. If you're against it, type two. Um, and if you know anybody in the state of Jefferson that's still active, let's get me in touch with them, so we can get this moving. And that's all I have for you on that. Um, an update: we've got some gold mining prospecting trips coming up, and we're on target to get at least an ounce of gold on our next trip. So we're going to be out at the ranch here in a few weeks doing some gold prospecting. It'll be a lot of fun. Stay with us for that. God bless you guys. You guys have a great day. Love y'all.